Tommy, this is Mamie, by the way. She is our digital director. She also is editor-in-chief of Late Woman magazine as well. Oh, cool. Tommy's on the commissioners with Mooresville. Big guy on affordable housing right here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, big affordable housing.
Oh, yeah. Have a little bit of a crowd. We don't usually have a live audience when we do this.
Yeah.
So don't get too nervous. Where do you want me to sit?
You'll be right here, yeah. And then we have a guest chair, too, for whoever. This is your Diet Coke, man.
Yes.
Do you have the remote?
No.
17 seconds. I pause real quick for 3 seconds. Ready? Next test coming in. 3, 2, 1, switch. Did you unpause it?
There you go. Yeah, it's 30.
30?
30. Yeah.
You sure?
Can we do it one more time?
Definitely. 3, 2, 1, switch. I don't like you to get this thing in here.
You gotta push your one button.
Good.
You gotta push your two button. Two.
Can you move your jacket in my book, right?
Move it.
First. Okay, we're just going to come in right at, you said it's 30 seconds?
Yeah.
We're coming in. All right, guys, you guys have about 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
I got time to go move the van.
30 seconds and no bumper.
You gonna let him play?
Should I just wait till I see levels coming from the PC?
Yeah, roll with yeah, fade us out. So we're good.
Good morning, LKN. Coming to you live this morning from Richard's Coffee Shop located in downtown Mooresville. Mames, have you ever been here before?
I've been here before. I love this place. I love being here. I love the atmosphere. We already have a little bit of a crowd. We're not used to having a live studio audience.
I'm kind of nervous.
I'm a little nervous. Yeah, I'm not used to having people watching us while we do this.
If you've not been to Richard's Coffee Shop in downtown Mooresville, it is a veteran museum.
Yes.
In addition to, I guess, a restaurant as well. As far as
great
breakfast
coffee
goes.
too.
Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely.
gosh, fantastic coffee.
Going to drink plenty of that this morning.
Yes.
I'm going to have the opportunity to kind of chat with some folks throughout the day. And this is all part of Mooresville's Veterans Week kickoff.
Yes.
Today at 9 o'clock, the POW parade happens here in downtown Mooresville. So right after Good Morning LKN ends, we'll hop outside and we'll be a part of that. Again, really excited to hang out with some people today here at Richard's Coffee Shop. If you have a chance, you can come on by. There's a lot of events going on over the next couple of weeks. For Veterans Day as well. We'll share some of those with you. You'll hear about those. But besides that, we're just kind of hanging out doing our normal thing here at the morning show. I'm going to go ahead and start drinking some coffee.
Go for it. This is the place to do it.
All right,
Richard's
so
Coffee Shop, drinking coffee.
Panthers won this weekend.
Oh my gosh, what a game yesterday. What a game yesterday. And when they won, when you go to the home game, they usually play Sweet Caroline when they win.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rob had come back from golf. He had fallen asleep, and so I'm just sitting there next to him singing "Sweet Caroline," as
Giving him the signal.
quiet as I could, so I didn't wake him up. But it was just fantastic. What a game yesterday!
It was cool to see the defense do well. It was cool to see actually really a lot of the Charlotte teams do well yesterday because you had this weekend you had Charlotte FC.
Charlotte FC
also
won too. I don't even know what to think. The roller coaster of emotions is just wild.
They won in PKs against New York Red Bulls, and so it went 7-6 in the PKs. And so now Friday, I believe, is the next match. When I saw it on Saturday night after the match ended, it said noon game on Friday. I don't know if that's like subject to change kind of a thing.
Okay, I knew it was Friday, but I wasn't sure what time. If it was a night game or is it going to be an afternoon game?
At least Google it said noon. They may have changed it by now. Okay, it
all right,
could
we'll
have
look
been a
into this.
placeholder.
We'll put our investigative journalist on that one right there and figure out when that's going to happen. But what a ride this weekend for all the teams, all the Charlotte teams. So I hadn't looked into Hornets and don't.
Hornets won at least one of their games. They won one of their games. They didn't win all their games, but they won one of their games. And so that was a great opportunity too. So again, a lot of positive there. Starting off the week right as we're hanging out. You all set up? We're all good to go over here? I guess we'll find out at some point. Yeah, you going to join in?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Okay, good to
Good.
go.
Cruising.
Thanks, Phil.
Great. Yeah.
Have
Thanks,
you
Phil.
been to Richard's Coffee Shop
It's
before?
a night game. No, I have not.
Okay,
to be
so
here.
they have all of the different wars, right? Like it's not just one that they focus on. They have a little bit of memorabilia from all of them. I'm pretty sure one of these little alcoves, and I'm going to go look for it, one of the letters that the emperor signed, I think it was World War I.
Yes, I remember seeing that. Yes, when we were here last time. Yeah, very cool. We're sitting in the Vietnam section right now. But yes, they have representation from every American war here and memorabilia, not just representation, but memorabilia from every American war. And I believe that Katie Stankiewicz told me that they're working on creating a section for female veterans as well.
Very nice.
Which is very timely this month. And also, if you pick up your copy of Lake Norman Woman magazine, you can see a great feature on some female vets. And the Lake Norman Woman podcast, we're going to feature some other ones as well. So a lot of opportunity to shine lights on some fantastic people in our community this month.
Consistently, when we sit down and we get a chance to talk with veterans, this sharing of stories is such a big part of it, right? Because the service that they gave, right? A lot of them, and some of them, it's their family members too,
Right.
multi-generational. We have a lot of that here locally throughout the area as well. And so looking forward to, over the next couple of weeks, getting to sit down with folks, really leaning into it. Not that you don't want to throughout the rest of the year. I think that's something too
absolutely.
to remember, is that though we call it Veterans Day, right? And there's certainly Memorial Day through the year, and there's other ways to recognize those who have served. But I'm just keeping in mind that, just because they're, it's Veterans Day doesn't mean they're not a veteran the 364 other days.
Well,
out
I
of the
love
year
that
as
we do, we're kicking off Veterans Week. Today's not, we're kicking it off. And so we're doing a whole week of celebration here in the town of Mooresville, and just really happy that we're able to shine some lights on some fantastic people that have really given their service to our country. And I would say every time I talk to a veteran, they always say, I'd do it again, or I was, you were worth it, or I was glad to do it. So it's just great to have those conversations with people. Katie Stankiewicz and I talk about on the podcast, just coming in here and sitting down at a table with somebody and asking them their stories is just gives them the opportunity to share. And so it's just a really special thing to be able to do. And especially has my heart. My grandfather was a veteran from World War II. I'm sorry. My brother-in-law was a veteran of Desert Storm, and then my husband was obviously in the Army for about 10 years. So just really proud of everybody in my family as well.
Yeah, I've got multiple family members that have served. I did not, but I'm grateful for their sacrifice that they were willing to give, and the many, many others that did as well. It's part of the reason why we get to talk into a microphone.
That's right, and act a
each and
fool
every day.
every day.
Right here in the middle of their playhouse.
I really appreciate them letting us come here and act kind of silly in here too.
One of the other things too that's always timely with Veterans Day, it seems like, is it's elections going on as well.
Yes,
And,
so big day tomorrow locally for elections too.
yeah, so if you know anybody running for office, just don't call them at all, because they're probably ready to
And you
snap.
probably won't be able to reach them after tomorrow either. They're going on their very extended, well-deserved tropical vacation, I'm sure.
That's right. So if you haven't exercised your right to vote yet, you do have that chance tomorrow. Joe Bruno, I saw he put out a post over the weekend. I guess they pulled the numbers for the early voting in Mecklenburg County in particular. I haven't seen the Iredell ones yet, but numbers are up as far
That's
as
good.
people who have voted. And if you compare, I believe the comparison to 2023. because again, an off-season kind of election, non-presidential. Well, I don't want to
Right.
call it off-season. There's plenty of important stuff on there. One of those in Mecklenburg County being the transit tax, and that conversation of what do you do to help with transportation in the area. And so it'll be interesting to see. I think the easiest way for me to still call it's still 50-50.
It's always 50-50. That's what my grandma said. It's always 50-50. It's going to be yes or no. It will or it won't. It's always 50-50. No, I took Katie to vote. She came home for the weekend because she wanted to make sure that she got her chance to vote. And so everybody was like, wow, thanks for coming. A young person coming to vote in an off election. They wanted to ring the bell for her for first-time voter. She's like, it's actually my second time. But they did anyway because they're like, we never see a young person come through to vote in like a non-presidential election. So pretty special for her to come through and do that, and everybody was really excited to see her. And she got to exercise her right to vote, and she gets to go in the booth just like everybody else. Nobody watches her, nobody, looks over and makes sure she picks the right person. She gets to exercise her right to do whatever she wants.
I remember in college, too, when I had the opportunity to vote, and I really leaned into it because I had also received simultaneously around that time a jury summons to go to jury duty.
Okay.
But I was like, I don't think I can do that because I'm in college, and I don't think college kids are allowed to serve on jury duty. But then I found out, too, like it depends on like where you're registered. I was like, I'm registered in another county. I'm not even registered here. So so I got to go prove that and go vote. And then since then, it's just been I vote in all of them now.
Always.
I just say thank you, every time. I just think back to that. Save me from
Appreciate
jury
you guys.
duty.
Appreciate you guys.
For the rest of my life, I'll vote at every election now. So
When I voted in Cornelius, and I think it was a little over 1,600 people that had come through to vote for early voting. So Saturday was the last day of early voting, but always special to, like, you take your kids, right? I always took Katie with me to vote. So really special as they get older to actually take them for their first time to vote, first, second, third, whatever. It's really special.
yeah, it's one of those opportunities too to just educate and be a part of the process, and that's what you get to do. Again, tomorrow is the day, so you can make your voice heard. Or if you choose not to, you want to not to, you can also make that choice as well.
And every vote really, really counts. 2 years ago for the mayoral election for Cornelius, I think it was 7 votes that separated. Yeah, I think it was like seven or 8 votes that separated one from the other. So every vote really does count.
We'll see how close it gets. I'm still calling it a 50-50. I think each of the races, I'm calling it a 50-50.
Well, if we go by my grandma's terms, yeah, everything's 50-50.
We're hanging out here at Richard's Coffee Shop today, and we're excited to kick off Veterans Week with the town of Mooresville. A lot of great activities. We'll share those with you today. Going to get a look at traffic up next. CJ's going to take care of that with David. Good morning, LKN.
Luncheon, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Richard's Coffee Shop, rear parking lot. So right here behind us, there's a really cute little porch back here, too, if you haven't seen it. Yeah, you can hang out on the porch with everybody. Tuesday, November 11th, Glenwood Park Memorial Ceremony. That is Veterans Day, so a full day of activity starting 11 a.m. the Glenwood Park Ceremony, 1 p.m. the Veterans Day Parade in downtown Mooresville. 2 p.m. Building Homes for Heroes groundbreaking ceremony at 235 North Maple Street here in Mooresville. 2:30 to 4:30 Building Homes for Heroes celebration at Liberty Park. And then Thursday, November 13th to wrap up the week. Be Someone's Hero blood drive, very important, 8:30 to 12:30 here back at Richard's Coffee Shop. So a full week of events and things going on to really celebrate the veterans in our area.
Yeah, it kicks off today, but goes all the way through till Wednesday next week, I believe. And so next week being actual Veterans Day on Tuesday, I believe, next week.
Yes, Tuesday.
And so, but Mooresville's saying, you know what, one day is not good enough. We want to
No.
celebrate for over a week, almost 10 days.
It was Mooresville, right, that was named like the most patriotic city in the world or something like that. Yeah.
So it was funny. The very first kind of remote that we did, and it was really the first week, really, of being part of WSIC, we broadcasted the 150th anniversary parade
Yeah.
that Mooresville had, and at the time, Mayor Miles Adkins read a proclamation on the air that day, declaring Mooresville to be the most patriotic. Nobody argued with him in that moment.
Everybody was like, obviously, yes,
Nobody
we are.
objected, so I'm guessing.
Yeah, you guys get it. Congratulations.
That's how you
It
make
is
it
the most
happen.
patriotic city in the history of time. We're going to proclaim it again today.
Congratulations to, again, the Carolina Panthers over the weekend. Charlotte FC, also NASCAR Cup Series. Want to give you that update, too. Kyle Larson winning the NASCAR championship.
So that's
in
it,
Phoenix.
or that's the season.
They were all done until
Kyle
February.
Larson, until February, but Kyle Larson won.
Kyle Larson did end up winning, and it was kind of wild. At one point, his car was like smoking and like I think on fire, give or
wow.
take, somewhere in that range. But he ended up pulling it out. So good for him and his team. Hendrick Motorsports obviously had a great year. Congrats to those guys over there, and onward to next season. No doubt, some more drama will continue to unfold in NASCAR here in the offseason with the trial looking to start soon. World Series also wrapped up over the weekend.
Oh,
The Dodgers won.
the Dodgers won. Congrats
So
to
if
them.
you're a Dodgers fan,
Man, all kinds of
congratulations.
sports. So now NASCAR's done, baseball's done, FC will wrap up Friday, I guess, for us.
Panthers
And,
are
Panthers.
Just get started.
I mean, I don't even know what to. I feel like we could have a whole show about the Panthers. My goodness, my mind was blown. I was just watching that game and I think it's because at the very beginning, I don't know if you saw the clip, but I shared it over on WSIC Stories. Is Bryce Young was like, "It's us against everybody," and that's really what it felt like, No, and I think it was I can't remember who it was, but there was everybody's just betting on Green Bay to win,
Sure.
2 touchdown,
I think 13 and a half
underdog.
points is what they gave him, 13 and a half.
Yeah. And Pat McAfee, I think is who it was,
Sure.
who just tweeted or asked,
Panthers are a good team.
Panthers are a good team.
Yeah, I saw.
It's like, yeah.
What else I saw during the game, and Bill and I were communicating during this point in the game, there was a big hit on Leggett at one point.
The helmet to helmet.
It was helmet to
I
helmet.
missed that one.
Guy led with his crown.
Completely.
Put it right on X's head.
Now, was it one of the padded helmets, the concussion protocol helmets?
No.
Just a regular old helmet.
Yeah, no.
No, I didn't see that one.
And now, granted, I don't know all the technical rules, right? They were right in the middle of the field. He was in a slot receiver position is what they called it, when Olsen was breaking it down on television.
Right, so initially I was like, oh, that's a defenseless receiver. On the replay, okay, X did have a couple steps, but you're not allowed to target people
Helmet
in
to
the head.
helmet.
Helmet to helmet. And
No
it was
matter what.
clearly,
No matter what,
Yeah, it was
right?
clearly helmet to helmet.
Because
And
there
there
was
was
the
no-
one oh go ahead.
No, I was just going to say there was no conversation during the game about it at all. Like, there was
Correct,
no
it just got-
acknowledgement that it happened.
Yes.
And
yeah,
maybe that's why I missed it, because they didn't talk about it on,
correct.
the commentators didn't talk
No,
about
the next
it.
comment was, wow, that was one of Bryce's best throws he's had all game
Right.
or all season.
But if XL is concussed,
yeah.
he got hit.
Yeah.
He got
Absolutely.
hit. He got hit.
Absolutely. No, it was the big push, though, of Bryce Young off the field, like when he ran into
In the opening
yeah.
drive?
Because they
Yes.
were like, yeah, that's okay. That's allowed.
That was a lot. I didn't think that was late. Bryce just kind of casually jogging off to the sideline. Now, was Bryce going to, try to get more yards? Doubtful. He was going to the sideline, but he's within the field of play. He can get pushed. I liked how everybody had his back. That was the big thing.
Okay.
So everybody had his back. Little scuffle, pushing and shoving. It's a man's game anyway. So that was good. Lit a fire under us, and we came back and did things the right way.
I like to think that I could have played in the NFL if I wanted to, right? I
Okay.
definitely could have.
If you wanted to. You
and-
obviously didn't want to.
Yeah.
And that would have required me to have a really good taunting move. I feel like because of Bryce's height and size, that
Sure.
they just kind of look at him that way. I don't
Yeah.
know
Right.
what I think my move would be I'd be like a snap fingers or something like that
Okay.
at somebody. You know what
You
I mean?
can only
Something like
snap
that.
once, apparently, though. You can't snap twice.
Yeah.
You get flagged for.
It's not even really snapping. It's more like packing a can of nasty. Just
Oh, okay.
get out of my
Gotcha.
face.
Gotcha.
That'd be my move.
Okay. Good to know. Well,
Good
now you
move.
got that down. Then you can work on everything else you need to
They'd
be
call
in
me
the
the
NFL.
Nasty Packer.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
what.
That would be
Or Mr. Nasty. Also, that one would work
perfect.
too.
I think that would work great. Yes.
Things are getting nasty still out on the streets because of the monkeys. Now, do you remember the Mississippi
we still
monkeys?
Have, okay, yes, we have Mississippi monkeys. They didn't get caught.
All right, so there's more developing on this story. I guess these monkeys were part of a research lab.
Yes, I
that
did
people
see
have
that.
been wanting to shut down for a while, I guess, because of some questionable things. So, and this is a Fox News article. They're saying 3 aggressive monkeys. So
Oh,
they're
no.
calling them aggressive, first off. So use caution when approaching. Still on the loose after a truck hauling 21 of them from Tulane University in New Orleans flipped on a Mississippi interstate Tuesday. They're part of a controversial program funded by the National Institute of Health, according to the White Coat Waste Project.
Okay.
And that's a nonprofit trying to eliminate, basically spending money on animal testing. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office, which eliminated 5 of the escaped 40-pound monkeys, eliminated, I would think, means killed.
Yes.
Okay. Initially said the driver of the truck told authorities the primates were dangerous, a threat to humans, and required personal protective equipment to handle. The university did later confirm to Fox News the monkeys in question were not carrying any diseases and had received recent checkups at Tulane before they left the facility, confirming they were pathogen-free. Now, where some of the beef that kind of happens, the identity of the owner and original destination were not released of these monkeys. So this is where the White Coat Waste Project, I guess, has been following these monkeys around from NIH. So here's the quote from the group. Every year, the NIH ships $35 million of tax dollars to Tulane so it can breed thousands of primates, torture them in wasteful and abusive experiments, and truck them off to other labs. Nearly 6,000 monkeys are locked up in Tulane's taxpayer-funded facility where the primates are isolated in tiny cages and infected with some of the deadliest pathogens on Earth, like anthrax, botulism, monkeypox, that one they might get used to, COVID, and AIDS-like virus. So that's pretty interesting situation.
Yeah, that's wild.
But
Did
we
they
got to
check-
test, right? Like, all right, just stick me with the needle. Go for it, Bill.
Disgraced country, guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. Paul Adamu is a Nigerian Christian who was kidnapped by Boko Haram 2 years ago. He joins us now. It's so wonderful to have you on the show. Please tell us what happened to you.
It was such a disheartening situation. 2 years ago, I was kidnapped by the dreaded Boko Haram along my way to the airport while
Good morning, okay. 7:34. Happy Monday to you. We're excited. We're here at Richard's Coffee Shop, kicking off the Veterans Week festivities with the town of Mooresville. The POW walk is starting at 9 o'clock today.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that, just to help remember, right, to tell those stories, and that's what it's all about really here for us and what we like to do on a day-to-day basis. And so having the opportunity, and we're grateful to Richard's Coffee Shop. If you hadn't been by here yet, what a wonderful museum with a lot of memorabilia, a lot of cool stuff, just again to remember and to showcase.
It's just very thoughtful.
Yeah, how much has really gone into
Absolutely.
our country,
I mean, just
people?
our community.
all of it.
Really, like, so much of this is from people who live right here in the Lake Norman area, right here in Mooresville. And so everything that's in here, and you can see a little bit of it behind us, but I mean, there is a whole, there's sections dedicated to each war. There's, you could spend hours here and probably still not see everything. But really the benefit of coming here is sitting down and talking with other veterans, talking with other people, talking with people and hearing their stories. And that's such a great thing about that. On Saturdays, they do free coffee for veterans. So you can always, Saturdays, it's standing room only, I hear.
Yeah.
And so it is just a great time to come sit down. And I do love the tables that they have. I ended up making myself a spot at the Misfit table. That sounded about right. Don't want to ask about it. Yeah. But yeah, we are having a good time hanging out here today. Enjoy it. So we're it's really cool to come here and sit and hang out. So whether you can come on a Saturday for the free coffee and, getting all the things, or you just want to come and hang out and talk to some people and have a nice conversation. And they get here early. I got here at 7, and they were already here. They were already here hanging out. So.
That's the advantage of coffee. You can get started real early in the day. There's no doubt about that. Unfortunately, the firefighters with Charlotte Fire had a long day over the weekend. Friday night, unfortunately, I don't know if you saw this story. Charlotte Fire Department put this out. Charlotte Fire responded to an overturned horse trailer on Brookshire Boulevard. 8:38 p.m. on Friday, Charlotte Fire arrived at the 4600 block of Brookshire Boulevard after a vehicle towing a horse trailer overturned, sending the trailer approximately 25 feet down an embankment. 3 engine companies, 1 ladder company, a rescue company, and 2 urban search and rescue vehicles responded. Firefighters worked through the night using specialized tools to carefully cut away parts of the overturned trailer and safely extricate the animals inside. 3 veterinarians, along with staff from Charlotte-Mecklenburg Animal Care and Control, were on the scene to monitor the horse's condition and provide immediate care. The collaboration with Charlotte Fire Crews were instrumental in ensuring that every possible measure was taken for the animal's well-being. Despite those efforts, 2 horses did not survive the crash. A 3rd horse was successfully freed at 1:11 a.m. and after walking up the embankment was placed in an awaiting horse trailer for transport and continued care. Charlotte Fire Crews remained on scene until approximately 2:30 a.m. to provide support and ensure the area was secure. After fire operations concluded, the scene was turned over to the horses' owners, who plan to bring in their own resources today and this was over the weekend, to recover the remaining animals. That's got to be tough.
That is tough. That's tough.
A deep emotional connection there with horses
No
too.
kidding, yeah.
So clearly, and then so a scene. So another one where, we've got our military who serves overseas, but then we've got our local service members as well. And
That's
so,
right.
A lot of times too, a lot of them are veterans too at the same time, and so because that's all they know is to serve, and that's quite an amazing thing to put their heart and their mind toward and live in their life.
Yeah, we
So-
appreciate. I mean, this week is about celebrating veterans, but we appreciate all of our first responders, police, fire, all of them. We had a fun time over at the Serve. Last week, you did a video with the Cornelius Fire Department. That was a good time. They rated your pickleball moves. And
Yeah,
if
that's
you
right.
missed that, head over to Live Work Play LKN on Instagram or Facebook to see that video.
And it's cool because here at WSIC, where we get to interact with a lot of different departments too, right? Because of our reach and how we go all the way to the north end of Iredell, east and west of the lake, all the way to Center City, Charlotte. So we get multiple municipalities, multiple different different groups as far as the service members go in the local communities. And we appreciate even Sheriff Campbell for being willing to do a show here at WSIC as well on Wednesdays from 3 to 4 o'clock. You can check out the good, the bad, and the guilty, one of the 35 hours worth of programming we do. What's happening, Chef?
Oh, can we fix this anything? Not right now. We're good. We're just talking on the radio. You want to talk on the radio?
hat,
I do like the hat. You look great. Yeah, Chef came over and asked us if we wanted something to eat. Maybe in a little bit.
I'm going to come see him in a
I've
little
heard
bit.
that the breakfast sandwiches are very good here.
I can imagine.
And again, another way to showcase local partnerships is I think Lowe's came through here
They did,
and really
yes.
helped out with the kitchen and just made it a phenomenal opportunity for Richard's Coffee Shop to serve veterans delicious food.
Yes.
And so it's like a full-fledged commercial kitchen back there now, and you got these veteran guys who are just walking around. Oh, yeah, now
Yeah.
we're talking. Look at
All
this
right. Oh, my
spatula.
goodness.
Yeah,
Okay, can I see that? Am
So
I
we
allowed to
could-
touch it? I don't know if I should be allowed to
The
touch
cook
it.
has given us the
Yes.
spatula.
That's pretty good.
We
Fresh
have-
bacon on there, too. Look at
I
that.
love this. This is absolutely
That's
amazing.
nice.
Yes, that's it. Do you actually cook with this, or is this just a decoration?
Be careful, Mamie. The safety's off there.
No, safety's on. Safety's always on. These guys know. These guys know how to do it. That's right. There you go, Chef. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chef.
Appreciate that.
Very cool.
That is heavy duty for sure.
that. It's-
Love it. You're not sure where it came from? Oh, well, it's a great gift. Yeah, I love that. That's great.
I'm going to add that to the stocking stuffers this year. That
Yeah.
was pretty good right there. Yeah.
That's a great one.
We could sell them here.
All right,
Yeah.
if we find them, we'll let you know where we find them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So they could buy it.
Those
That's
are great.
exactly right.
Love those.
Yes, sir.
That's
Thank you for
amazing.
sharing that
Yeah,
with us.
that's great.
Very cool. About to bust
When
out
you
that
come
3D
through
printer.
here, if you're a veteran and you come through here, you do get to sign the Book of Honor. Do you know about this?
No, I don't.
So the Book of Honor has names of over 23,000 veterans from all over the world, not just here locally, all over the world, recognizes the service they've given, and they just play a part of the living history of this area too. So if you're a veteran, you come through, make sure you do sign that Book of Honor. It's really a special thing. And if you're not a veteran, you can go through and look at it and see all the over 23,000 people that have come through here. It's very cool.
Richard's Coffee Shop, the first stop on the week of Veterans Week, celebrating veterans here in Mooresville. A lot of opportunity to do so. Today starts with the POW walk
Yes.
at 9 o'clock. Something definitely not to take lightly and to remember, because again, when those who give up their lives to serve and go across the world, you never know what's going to happen. And
Exactly.
this is remembering those ones where the unimaginable and unthinkable did happen. And so grateful to be able to be a part of that with Richard's Coffee Shop. Again, you have the opportunity to come by here. They're open daily too, so you can come on down and have some delicious food. Also, don't
Some
forget.
good coffee. Don't forget, don't sleep on the coffee. Get you a cup of coffee. Now, I don't know about lattes. I don't know if they do a mocha choco latte here, but I think you just get the black coffee, and it is good coffee. They know how to make it here.
We talked about K-pop and the Demon Hunter stuff
Demon
last
Hunters,
week.
yeah? Did you see any? Yeah.
So
Did you see any costumes over the
Actually,
weekend?
didn't see as many as I thought I would.
You didn't see any?
No.
I didn't see any, but I was at Rocky Horror, but I did see a little bit of the candy grab that was going on downtown Mooresville right before Rocky Horror started. But yeah,
Let's talk Rocky Horror. Can we talk Rocky Horror? How did that go?
it was great, fantastic event, sold out
Highlights
crowd.
looked awesome.
My first time seeing, I've seen the movie, but my
Sure.
first time seeing the live performance. Oh my gosh, what? There's people who have seen it more than 50 times with
Yeah.
the live cast. Yes.
Really?
It's an
Yes.
experience.
It is an experience. It is a sing along. It is
Right.
a call and response.
Interactive, yeah.
It was very interactive. They had these bags that with all these things to throw, to wear, so when there was a birthday, they had these little horns that you blew. When it was raining, you put the newspaper over your head to cover your head from the rain. They said, let me do a toast, and they had these pieces of like paper toast that you threw up in the air. I mean, unbelievable. We will definitely be doing that one again because that was so fun. And then the pre-show party was great. Bun DJ and Company, Patisserie Cafe with the fantastic food. We had a magician come out.
How was the magician? I saw the video of the magician. How did he do with the card tricks?
I don't know how he does. It's just magic. It was Halloween and magic was in the air because I don't know how. I don't understand it. But he was like, yeah. There was one trick where he was like, okay, this was your card. This wasn't your card. And magically, all of the eights were just like, he just snapped his finger and all the eights are over here. I was like, I don't know how you
Magic.
did that.
That's how it
It's
goes
just
down right
straight
there.
magic. It was amazing. It was
Pure.
just so fun to have people gather together. The live cast came out and interacted with the crowd, so that was really fun. And just like a completely different event than what we've done, I think, before, but really fun and a really good crowd, and people were hype and ready for it.
Congrats,
Charles
that
Mack
looked awesome.
Citizen Center? is
At
where
Charles
we went
Mack Citizen Center, we packed that room out. So really fun. The costume contest before, if it was your first time seeing it, you got to get up on stage and, have your first time seeing Rocky Horror. So they did a little fun thing for you. But the dancing before the show and then afterwards, all the cast came out again for everybody else who didn't come to the VIP party and came out and took pictures too. So really fun, really cool, interactive cast based right here in Charlotte as well. That type cast is who it was that came out. And they just said that this was not just the venue, but the crowd, the people, completely different in a good way, like completely different than anything they've done. They said, we've never had a crowd that's been so excited to see us. And so it was very cool.
No, wow.
Mooresville came out. And when it was over, you know what we did? We went home and we were cleared out of there by 10 p.m. It was funny. I came out because we had the pre-show party and I went to watch the show and I came out ready to, break down everything outside. Nah, already taken care
Already
of.
done.
The Mac crew that already taken care of it.
You know the rules.
Talk
They're
about
like,
magic, yeah.
that is the magic of Mooresville for sure.
We'll talk more about Halloween coming up for sure. Friday night, I mean, it was a wide open weekend. I was with the kids, had a boatload of candy.
Oh, I bet.
And so we'll see how that leveled out.
Yeah.
I've got
good
my,
on candy.
I
You're
got
good
my
on
do's
candy?
and my
Good on
don'ts
candy,
for next
yeah.
year. Yeah, I think
Oh
I'm
yeah,
ready to
new
go.
rules for next year. Got to change it up a little bit.
No doubt about that. We're hanging out at Richard's Coffee Shop and looking forward to a wonderful day here. 9 o'clock, the POW MIA walk. Good morning, LKN. 7:48. Happy Monday. Yeah, we're talking right now. Yeah. we're hanging out with Derek. Derek just came up to the table. So the PTSD, peer-led, trauma-informed support and direction. Derek, how are you this morning?
Not too bad. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. So share your story with us. You were in the Air Force. You said for 18 years?
So just about 16. I actually just retired last September, was medically retired for PTSD, some other various mental health, and then some physical conditions as well.
Well, Derek, where are you from originally?
Originally from the Midwest, kind of all over the place. Grew up in South Dakota, North Dakota, mostly. I went to high school in North Dakota, so I was actually up in Grand Forks. They had the Air Force Base up there during 9/11. I was a senior in high school when that happened, so still pretty vivid in my memory.
Take me back to that moment when you said, "Hey, I want to join the Air Force." What was your life like then, and why did you make that decision?
There's a lot that goes in with that, but I'd always been interested in the military. Just kind of cool stuff that they do, right? And growing up, kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do. I've got a lot of interest over here and there. I started doing college. That wasn't really for me. Then just kind of decided, like, hey, let's go for it. I was working at the police department in Lincoln, Nebraska. I was one of their public service officers, and I just kind of did like meter maid stuff, honestly. But it was like a good step in to kind of understand what law enforcement does. And then I just kind of talked to guys that were, in the Guard and Reserve. I was like, why not? Let's do this. I'm 25. I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm down. So I just went for it, honestly, and it was good.
16 years later, where were you stationed at in the Air Force over your 16 years?
So I started at Hill Air Force Base in Utah, which is just north of Salt Lake. From there, went to Anchorage, Alaska. That was a joint base, Elmendorf-Richardson, with the Army up there. That was actually where I got my first deployment. Then after that, I went to South Korea, Kunsan, South Korea. I was there for a year. That's a great place, by the way. It's so awesome over there. After that, came over to Seymour Johnson, so just over in Goldsboro.
Okay. And now you've started a nonprofit. So share with us about the PTSD, peer-led, trauma-informed support and direction.
Yes, sir. So what I wanted to do with that is kind of just like it sounds. So it's the PTSD. It's in your face. You see it. I actually just got done with the Pumpkin Fest this weekend, and I had a couple of veterans come up to me, and I've got a big banner that just says the PTSD, and you can see it. And they were standing across the road, and I could see them. And they kept looking over, and finally they were just like, we're going to do it. So their wife, kind of pushes them along, and they're like, that's the only reason that I came over. I saw that, and I'm like, there you go. So that's why I started it. I want to break the stigma. I want to just have people understand that when you hear combat vet, you hear PTSD with veterans, we're not crazy people, right? Like, we have some issues, but we have it under control for the most part. However, when we don't, we can go to us. We can go to the other veterans that are going through it, that have that lived experience. And that's what I kind of want to pass on, is all that lived experience that I have.
Sharing the stories with each other and knowing that you're not alone is such a big part of it, if I had to guess.
Exactly.
So now, as far as the reintegration goes, right, that's a big part of it, right, when you get out and you transition back to civilian. Like, what's that been like for you?
So honestly, that's been pretty tough. I actually joined when I was 25, so I had an idea of what the civilian world was supposed to be. It wasn't that when I got out. The military is very good at training you and conditioning you to do what you need to do. However, on the flip side of it, they don't do the transition part. So that is where I'm stepping in also. A lot of the things that I noticed when I got out is there's a ton of resources. They're everywhere. However, there's no central area to find them. So that's what I want to do. I actually, the place that I'm opening up that I just got is opening on Veterans Day. And it's actually kind of a cool place. It was built right after after the Civil War, still standing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm in Unit E, so what I've done is called it Unite. So what I'm trying to do, too, is with the community, is really get in there. And I feel that helps kind of the stigma, loosen that up a little bit, and people see that you're out in the community doing this and that. So I think it's going to be a fun time.
So, Derek, you were stationed in multiple places across the world. What brought you to Mooresville, North Carolina, just out of curiosity?
That's funny. So when we were stationed over in at Seymour Johnson, me and my wife, actually, we married there, and that had my last deployment, which that was kind of the rough one. Anyways, we actually really just like North Carolina. So we're like, we don't necessarily like that Goldsboro area. It's just a lot of people. We actually are up in Statesville, so we're out kind of in the country, you know. But it's nice. It's quiet. The people here are nice. It's super veteran friendly, and
we wave with all 5 fingers. That's what I tell people.
Right? Yeah, that's funny. Actually, I like that.
It's friendly, but you said veteran friendly specifically.
It is, from what I've noticed, and especially up in Statesville, they've been more than welcome to invite me to, like Pumpkin Fest. Went there, did that. I've done a couple of pop-ups, things like that. So, yeah, they're super inviting.
I'm looking here at your brochure. So walk me through these other partners. I see you've got Fifth Street Ministries mentioned on here. You've got the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, Iredell County Veteran Services. So you're saying your idea for the PTSD, again, peer-led, trauma-informed support and direction, being a connector to help and provide a list of where all those resources are for folks.
Yes, exactly. The program that kind of is going to fall under is called The Hub, Helping Understand Benefits. So it's just like it sounds. I'm getting all that info at my new place, so I'm going to have a computer so people can start looking at, I want to do jobs, I want to do schooling. There's also a lot of volunteer type of things also with me. Yeah, we've got a lot of things that are kind of starting to come into place. It's just I needed that actual physical place where I had something tangible once. Now I think people can see that too, and it's like, okay, it's for real. Let's keep doing this.
You mentioned too that you had gotten married at the base too. So congratulations to you and your wife as well. What's that been like with family, and how important is that to you as far as family structure and having that kind of support around you now as you continue to reacclimate and reintegrate back into civilian life?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. I'm really glad you asked that because that's a huge part of it. When you're going through PTSD, you're going through anything really. You've got to have your backup. You've got to have your family, your friends, caregivers, whatever it is. So what I've done is started the second front. So the first front is obviously us. We're there doing the stuff. They're back home. Second front, they're keeping it together, right? Same thing when we're done. I'm still fighting whatever. She's still at home doing stuff. So really what it is, it's for the caregivers. They just are really kind of in an unknown space. There's not a lot of programs for them. There's not a lot of anything for them. My goal, I've reached out to Elizabeth Dole Foundation. They're the national one that takes care of a lot of the big caregiver initiatives, and they're on board with it too. So we're making waves there too. So that's a big part of it.
And thus far in the community here in Mooresville in particular and the surrounding area, what are some of those conversations like with veterans and that need for this type of resource? What are they saying to you, the other veterans?
Just that. It's very needed. I think I'm one of the first ones that will actually have just a peer support that doesn't have anything else attached to it, right? I'm confidential. There's no paperwork, nothing like that. Come and do your thing. So the response that I've been getting to people is it helps a lot. And the groups that I've had, they've been kind of small, which is fine. I totally like that too. It's more, it's easier to talk that way with everybody. And we kind of go around the room and each person has their different story, but they all come together. The symptoms, the things that we go through, the things that we see, the things that we think, all that type of stuff, right? It's locked up in the brain.
I've found that for veterans too, sometimes traditional talk therapy, one-on-one with a therapist, they're just not going to do it, right? And so the opportunity to come into these groups, come here, places like Richard's Coffee Shop, come to things like that where you can get together with a group of people, say, hey, we've all been in the same space, we've all experienced similar things, and have that opportunity. My husband's a veteran, I mentioned before, and so yes, know what that's like from both sides of it, from what he's going through, and then as a spouse trying to support him too. So I love that you're having both sides of it.
Yeah, I really do think that that's important because, like I said, it's not that they're forgotten. It's just one of those things that they just do what they do so well, you don't notice that they're doing it.
The one thing I've heard from veterans the most is that they teach you very well how to be a soldier. They don't teach you how to be a civilian.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've hung out here a few times at Richard's Coffee Shop, Derek, and I didn't serve, but love hearing the conversations, have family members who served. There's a lot of jokes between like which branch of the military, Air Force versus Army versus Navy.
Space Force.
Space Force. course.
Coast Guard, oh, yeah.
But now being back, right, and being veterans as a whole, what's that like camaraderie like for veterans? It's very unique that many other groups don't have that same connection.
Yeah, it is unique, and that's kind of something too that I work into the program is a military culture. It doesn't just die when you're a veteran. Like, it's still there. It's going to stick with you. We have our own culture, our own talk, our lingos, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure you see
all the acronyms, and I'm like, I don't know.
And it's funny, my last station down at Holloman, my wife went through a course that actually taught her kind of like some of the lingos and some of this, and yeah, it was a really good little program. But yeah.
But it's good to be together, too, for sure. So PTSD, the PTSD, peer-led, trauma-informed support and direction. So let's say someone says, you know what, I need that help. I need that support, Derek. I need to know where these resources are at. What's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Really a variety. So it's kind of up to whatever's easiest for that person. I've got Facebook, Instagram, got a website, www.theptsd.info, as well as my email is contact@theptsd.info. And I didn't do the org. So what I was thinking with this, with theptsd.info, you remember 3 words. You got the PTSD info, boom.
Easy to find you. Yeah,
Easy
really
enough.
easy to find you.
Derek, we so appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us this morning. Looking at the other events that we've got going on here for the day, we've got at 9 o'clock, we've got the POW MIA flag processional and ceremony. That's today. That kicks off the entire 10 days worth of events here in downtown Mooresville. Derek, thank you so much again for coming
Thanks
and
so
hanging
much.
out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate you being here.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning, LKN. It's 8:08. Happy Monday to you. We're excited to be here at Richard's Coffee Shop, kicking off Veterans Week festivities. The POW MIA ceremony happening at 9 o'clock. We're honored to be sitting down right now with Master Sergeant Fisher. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
Doing well. Making sure I'm on my P's and Q's around you. You seem
That's
like a
right.
sharp gent here this morning. You've walked past a few times, given me the stare as if I was doing something wrong. So I'm trying to make sure I do things right now. Share with us, Master Sergeant, when was it that you decided to serve, and when did you first join the armed services?
Well, I graduated the University of Maryland with a degree in criminology, and I wanted to go in the Air Force. And I went to the Air Force recruiter, and he wasn't there. So I talked to the Army recruiter, and he gave me such a nice spiel that he got me in to join the Army. And he said, "Have you ever copied Morse code before?" And I said, "You know what Morse code is?" And I said, "Kinda." He says, "Well, we're going to give you a test on copying Morse code." So I passed the test, and I got a high score on the ASVAB, which is the test they give you when you come into the military. So he says, "You qualify to go in the Army Security Agency." I said, "Okay, is that police?" "No, it's not police." "So you're going to be sent to basic training at Fort Dix." And this was in October of 1975. And I signed the papers in September, 4 months after the end of the Vietnam conflict was over. So I did not come in as a Vietnam veteran. So I missed that benefit. I went to basic training, graduated basic training, then got sent to Fort Devens in the winter of 76, and the snow was about 4 feet deep out in front of my barracks.
Where is Fort Devens? Where's
Fort
that
Devens is in Massachusetts.
Oh, wow.
Whew. It is no longer an active duty post. It was also the post for the 10th Special Forces Unit. And they moved out to Fort Lewis a bunch of years ago. So, I'm talking 75, 76, so that's a few years ago. I had to take a course in Morse Intercept that was max 18 weeks. If you did not pass it in 18 weeks, you became a mortar-based carrier or a cook. And so I was very good at Morse code. I passed it in 12 weeks. And then I had to take my secondary MOS, Military Occupational Specialty course, Morse Intercept. And I passed that at the top of my class. Then I had to take my primary Morse related MOS, Advanced Identification Techniques Emitter Analyst Identifier Locator, which was an 8-month course. And I had to get a top secret clearance for that. So I graduated that.
So they were calling your ex-girlfriends and everything else, huh? That's what they were doing.
They were going to my neighbors and asking them about me and my former employers, and everybody was asking my parents, what did I do wrong? So, yeah, the Defense Investigative Service came around, started asking all kinds of questions. Passed that real quick because I was a good old boy. And then I was sent to Fort Bliss, Texas, and I joined the unit, which was an Army Security Agency aviation company that was working directly for the National Security Agency. And I did drug interdiction along the Mexican border in a U-21 aircraft with antennas all over the wings. We'd identify possible narcotics operations on the other side in the Mexican border and have the Mexican police pick them up. So I did that for about 3 months, and then they decided I needed to go to Panama. And they sent me to Panama, which kind of ruined my aviation career. And they made me the Special Identification Techniques Operator for the whole canal zone.
Oh, wow. Okay. What year was that?
That was in 1977 that I got sent to Panama. Wonderful.
Some fun things going on in Panama in 77, I would imagine.
Wonderful situation. My unit, the what's a 408th Army Security Agency, later became the 193rd Infantry Brigade Military Intelligence Company. And we were spying on the Commandancia and the Guardia Nacional to see what kind of activities they may have for us if we did not pass the Panama Canal Treaty. Which, of course, if people know anything about that, gave the Panamanians the right to run the canal, which basically was ours because we built it. and we built it under the Theodore Roosevelt administration, and it got completed after he was president, but then we were control of all the shipping that went through the canal. They passed the canal, and they gave us so many years that we had to get all our military activities out of the canal. But while I was there, I had to support Jungle Operations Training Command and give them intelligence support. You know, we did guerrilla operations, we did intelligence and such to determine how they would operate in case the Panamanians decided to attack the canal if we didn't pass the treaty.
Yeah.
In June of 1978, they did pass the Panama Canal Treaty by 1 vote. Okay, and that was the West Virginia Senator, Senator Byrd. And they turned the operations over to the Panamanians, who later turned the operations over to the Chinese.
Master Chief, let me interrupt real quick. Radio fam, we're going to break. All of our social media watchers, stick around.
There you go.
Master, so that was Panama in '77. Where is life taking you since then?
Well, I got out of active duty in '78. I came back to Fort Jackson, got out, got a job with the police department up in Maryland at the campus of the University of Maryland, and I took additional courses because they gave me free courses basically. I got a degree in law enforcement, so I had 2 undergraduate, and then I started my graduate degree, and they paid for some of that. VA paid for some of that, and I got my degree like 5 years later. It took me to get the degree, but I joined the Maryland National Guard in basically '82. Spent a year with the National Guard and determined they weren't going to promote me very quickly. So I got into the Army Reserves as an E5, which was a buck sergeant, and I went into the Civil Affairs Command. You ever heard of Civil Affairs?
No.
The job of Civil Affairs is to create a government in a country such as Kuwait.
Oh, wow.
Because they were taken over by the Iraqis, right, under Hussein.
Yeah.
We pushed them out, and they had to have a government because they had killed everybody, basically. So we had to take over our government. Our unit took command of that country, but I became an instructor at Fort Belvoir, and I taught military intelligence. Contradiction in terms.
How do you intercept Morse code? I mean, I'm curious about that one. How do you intercept? Yeah, give me some inside
8 minutes,
info here.
Can you teach us how to do it?
They would send Morse code. You know, was did it dot it dot it dot it did it. You know, and
sure.
They basically brainwashed me because I heard it in my sleep. Okay, and I'd be waking up here that did it. But see, you had to pass a certain group speed. You had to pass 18 groups per minute, which was 5-letter groups. The problem was I's were dit, okay? E's were dit, I's were did it, S's were did it, and H's were did it.
My goodness. I
So
can
if
hardly
you
speak
mix
English
them-
most days. I don't know that I could get
And
there.
if you're going real fast, this stuff goes together.
I would guess so, yeah.
So you had to slow your brain down. And I passed at 20, and I was pretty good, so I passed. I also had to learn numbers.
Yeah.
And numbers were like 5-letter instead of usually 3, okay, or 4. Because F, for example, is did-it-dot-it, right? And the numbers were 5, so if it was like number 1, it was dit, da, 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 okay?
Yeah.
4 da's and a dit.
My goodness.
And then when I got sent to Panama, the speed was 42. Now, did I ever get to that speed? No, because
42 dits per minute? Is that what that is?
42 groups per minute.
Oh, my goodness.
So you had to
Oh, my goodness.
That's a
like
group.
that, and you had to slow that down in your brain, a paragraph behind.
Yeah.
They stopped the mission in Panama for us, so we became extra people, and we had to go do other stuff. Like we became guards on an island in the Bay of Panama called Flamingo Island.
Let's pick this up on the other side of traffic. We're going to get an inside look at the streets real quick from our producer in studio, and then we're going to come back to you, Master Sergeant, if that's okay.
Flamingo Island's interesting.
Let's talk about it. Hold on for me 1 minute. right, good morning, LKN. Welcome back to the radio fam. We're here with Master Sergeant Fisher, who is teaching us Morse code amongst many other things this morning. I'm trying my best to keep up. Looking back over your life, Master Sergeant, what would you say are some of like the major highlights as far as armed services go that really stick out to you? Because you've clearly served and done a lot of things in your time.
Well, I took a course on being a Army instructor, and I ended up teaching occupational specialty military intelligence, which a lot of people, oh, that's interesting. Well, it's an involved course, and you have to learn a lot of things like indications, enemy. I was also an instructor over Russian order of battle. I had to know everything about the Russian army and how they operated. I had to know how they were going to attack the United States, what the United States had to expect in what they had available in their side, in their equipment, their tanks. I had to know everything about their how they did war, how they were going to attack the United States military in Germany. And there were areas in Germany, such as the Fulda Gap, that they were going to come through, probably. And they also thought they were going to attack through Iran to take their oil fields. So all this stuff came about when I was an instructor at Fort Bragg, my last 3.5 years with the Army in the reserves. And I had to drive from Gastonia, North Carolina, all the way to Fort Bragg. And it was a 3.5-hour trip, and I had to make it by 7:30 in the morning for weekend drills.
There goes sleep. You know, who needs it?
Then I had to teach two weeks during the summer and teach. I taught Army Reserve, I taught National Guard, and I taught active duty people at Fort Bragg.
So not only did you serve, but then you're teaching others what it's like to serve. So now in 2025, what are you up to?
I'm retired.
Well deserved.
Yes.
Well deserved.
I retired the military reserves in '97. At that time, I had just gotten a job with the United States Postal Service, and I worked for the Postal Service for 23 years. So I retired from the Postal Service, from the U.S. Army, and I also get some kind of thing for being a police officer in the state of Maryland.
Okay.
So
how did you land in Mooresville, North Carolina at the end of all of this? You've traveled the world.
Well, I went a few different places, came back. My wife at the time, her job moved from Maryland, where I was originally living, to Gaston County for her job, and I had to get employment around there, and I finally got a job with the post office. And I kept my reserve position, had to move around to different divisions. In Charlotte, I was in the 108th Training Division. Before that, it was the 20th Division, but they got shut down because a lot of the things they did were given to the National Guard to train. So then I got moved from Charlotte over to Fort Bragg, and that's where my last duty station was, Fort Bragg.
So Richard's Coffee Shop, clearly a wonderful place for veterans to come hang out. People look at you like you come here often. Do you hang out here often?
I come here mostly on Thursdays when we have our main meetings and get-togethers, and we also have something on Saturday where they have music. And a lot of the veterans and a lot of the veteran wives and whoever, they're able to come on Saturdays, and we have a lot of off-street traffic to come in here to listen to the music, which is wonderful. And we also have a very reasonable breakfast and lunch menu.
Delicious. I love the new kitchen, by the way.
Yeah, I've heard it's fantastic.
And Lowe's basically donated over $60,000 to rebuild that kitchen, along with some plumbers and electricians, and made it a place to go in Mooresville.
Collectively to come together. I believe Rocky Lynn is going to be playing this Saturday as well, a free concert as well for veterans. So looking forward
Fantastic.
to
so
that.
what does Richard's Coffee Shop mean to you? Why do you like to come here so often?
Well, I come here to talk to other veterans. We talk to each other about stories that they encountered while they were in the service, or how we're basically trying to deal with the VA and some of the VA requirements for any kind of problems we got while we were in the service. We talk about things like Agent Orange or injuries, and how to deal with the VA administrative requirements. So,
in this day and age, you've seen multiple generations of service members, right, if we're honest. And so in this day and age, PTSD is a huge conversation, right? Mental health is a huge conversation. The being able to come together collectively and share the stories, do you think that helps? What's that like?
It helps a lot of veterans who actually want to talk to people who have the same problems they have. We have people who come in here, one guy who's 101 years old.
Wow.
He is a Marine who fought in Saipan in World War II.
Wow.
He was awarded 4 Bronze Stars in World War II and 2 Bronze Stars in Korea. And his brain is still active, and he's still a good guy to talk to, and you can learn about what happened to Marines in those 2 conflicts.
Yeah.
Then we have, of course, a lot of Vietnam people, and we like to get more Desert Storm people who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan and some places around there who may have fought in Yugoslavia in that activity. And we all talk about how we dealt with the military and maybe how we're going to get some of the support that we're supposed to get from the VA. And it is complicated because they have a lot of rules for the VA.
Yeah, VA's got, and there's a lot of things going on there. I think Huntersville's opening an extension office soon. We're excited about that. More and more resources for veterans. Mooresville collectively, your take, do you think that Mooresville supports veterans? What's your thoughts on that overall?
Mooresville is a fantastic town. They've always been supported. I came here almost 6-7 years ago. I signed up to be a regular participant, and Mooresville has been friendly and supportive towards all the activities at Richard's Coffee House. They're also supportive of the parade and are trying to show how veterans deal with the issues around here. So it's a wonderful place to be, and it's a nice little town. And I live in Kannapolis, but Mooresville has a little bit more to offer. Maybe Kannapolis will get there sometime. I don't know when.
Master Sergeant, something that we hear veterans continue to talk about, not only the service for the country, but also family as well in general, and how important family is to that support and being here locally. Do you see that as well? Do you see families being able to engage? What are some of those resources and ways maybe that you think families can participate with those veterans and with others?
Well, the wives come in here, the children's come here, and they learn that, how do we get support when the veteran basically passes away. The wives learn how they can get maybe support as being a wife of a former, being married to a former service member that's either passed away because of conflict, or maybe they retired and they passed away after that.
Yeah.
And we have a bunch of those people that come in, and they're helped by that. Their children are helped because they don't understand sometimes if I have a individual that passes away in my family, how do I get them into a military cemetery? And that's a complicated thing, because I was looking at being buried in Arlington National Cemetery because my dad's buried there. He was a World War II veteran.
Oh, wow.
And they said I could be buried on top of him. Thank you. Yeah. But I found out it was too much of a problem, so I decided I would go into Salisbury. I told my daughter that's where I want to go, in Salisbury. So not looking forward to it.
Sergeant Fisher, if there's a veteran listening who maybe hasn't been here before, what would be the reason that they would come? Maybe they're a little nervous about coming here for the first time.
Well, you could come here and you'll meet a bunch of people who probably identify with exactly what they did, and maybe could talk to them, and they can talk about their history and maybe get it off their chest about the problems they encountered. And that makes them feel a lot better, because some people don't want to talk to veterans. I have a friend that doesn't want to talk to veterans, and he was Vietnam, and he has a very big problem on PTSD, and he just doesn't want to talk to veterans.
You mentioned Agent Orange, and you've obviously been across the world and seen some of those very specific moments in the military history of the United States. Today, kicking off Veterans Week, the POW MIA flag processional and ceremony. That particular event, does that mean anything to you? How does that connect with kind of your thoughts in the military and your time of service?
It helps them remember what they gave up to serve this country. There's a lot of MIAs, people who disappeared, never were heard from again. Even World War II, you have 76,000 people who disappeared and never were heard of again. And it continued to happen through everything the United States was involved with. Iraq, they have missing in action, right? People who were basically kept in some kind of enemy prison. And when they got out, they had a lot of things to discuss. So.
Master Sergeant, we so appreciate you joining us this morning. Really do. Richard's Coffee Shop, wonderful place here in downtown Mooresville. Again, at 9 o'clock, the POW MIA flag processional and ceremony kicks off the Veterans Week festivities here. We've got several other folks joining now. Richard's Coffee Shop getting full. All right, are you an eggs guy, bacon guy? What do you recommend on the menu here?
Everything.
It's all
right.
good.
We'll try it all then.
It's
And I'm
wonderful.
definitely going to be drinking more coffee. Master Sergeant, thank you so much. We appreciate the
Thank you so much.
opportunity.
Take care, huh?
Thank you.
Nice to see you guys.
Good morning, LKN. 8:34. Happy Monday to you. Always love hanging out in Mooresville. We're at Richard's Coffee Shop this morning, kicking off Veterans Week. Not just one day. Why am I not surprised, Mayor Carney? Not just one day. Mooresville couldn't just say, we're going to celebrate Veterans Day. No, you decided to have 10 days worth of celebrations for veterans.
Well, you know this. First of all, we do nothing halfway.
That's very true.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
We do nothing halfway, and especially when it comes to honoring our veterans, and especially Richard's Coffee Shop. It's amazing if people realized the just from around the country, the people who stop in here. I remember Bob Dole walking in one day because he wanted to come into Richard's Coffee Shop, and obviously former Senator Dole used to come in as well, his wife Elizabeth, and so it just always is a special place. And again, this week is a special week leading into Veterans Day for us here in Mooresville. We've got so many great veterans here.
I'm amazed at, I mean, you guys are attracting veterans too.
That's
you
right.
have a lot of veterans moving here right now. From a town perspective, I mean, you talk about resources, you think about, like, how are y'all factoring all of that's got to be part of the equation, I would guess.
Which I think it goes back into exactly what we talked about. Why, I mean, think if 2 years ago I told you that we're going to get Lowe's to pony up $6 million and we were going to make 14 houses to give away to veterans for free, and
people would have laughed at
us. And now it's not only reality. I mean, we're going to have the big groundbreaking on Veterans Day, so it's everything we hoped for. And I think the other part is, like you said, people are choosing Mooresville, and the great thing about veterans is they have a life of service anyway. So when they move here, they want to give back, and you get them involved. I joke all the time. I've got a great friend of mine, General Mel Speece, that's a 2-star general, and he's in my Rotary Club. You want something done, you give it to Mel.
Yeah. Well, if you want anything done, you give it to him.
You give it to Mel. Yeah, I always laugh. You give it to Mel or one of the women in our club, and it gets done. It gets done. It gets done well. But yeah, people. I used to joke as serving, being a veteran myself, that whenever I run into a general or an admiral, I'd always be in awe, because they are bigger than life when you're serving. Yeah, and
it's not easy to get to those ranks.
They're like the pro athletes of the military. I mean, you can't swing a cat in wars without hitting a general. I mean, they're everywhere now. It's like, and they're really great guys, and they have such great perspective. And which is another reason why we were just talking about defense companies wanting to move here, because we have that institutional knowledge now, and we are the hottest thing going right now when it comes to defense in North Carolina. You cannot walk in a room without Mooresville being the discussion with Commerce. Last Friday I was laughing. I spent Friday morning in Fayetteville with the chair of defense appropriations in Fayetteville, then ran back here to throw out candy to the kids, and then went and watched the greatest football game in high school history at Mooresville Lake Norman, which was awesome. And I hate to see the team lose. They played so well. That is a very special place to be able to be mayor of.
Being mayor, right? You're the champion of the town, right? You're the one who wants to continue to promote and make sure that this place continues to thrive. These kind of events and whole weeks of celebrations and things like that, what does that mean for a town overall? Why is that valuable at all?
Well, I think it's so many times where we talk about promoting our town. This is actually a little different. This is a week of honoring. It really is. It's special time when you look at somebody who just was willing to give everything, and you hug them and you tell them thank you. People get Memorial Day is all different. People always confuse it. That's for the people we've lost. Veterans Day is just for the ones that are still here. And we love to go up and look them in the eye and just tell them thank you. And as we all know, they're the humblest of people.
Oh, absolutely.
And I tell people, because veterans don't talk about their service doesn't mean they're not proud of their service. And when you meet them and talk to them and hear their story, and as we've lost those World War II vets, and now we've got down to the Korean War veterans that we're losing, and now the Vietnam. It's just, and those are different eras. We really celebrated the World War II vets. But the Vietnam, they were treated pretty awfully back in the 70s. I tell my parents that all the time, that they should be ashamed of their generation for the way they treated those people coming back. And so I think, they should.
Kind of the beginning of Richard's Coffee Shop too, because those Vietnam veterans needed somewhere where they didn't feel welcome.
Needed a hug.
They needed somebody to talk to and say, like, a lot of them were drafted too, so they didn't have the choice to go or not. They didn't voluntarily go.
And it's sad because the people confuse politics with service, and young, and people don't realize this. When I went into the Navy, I was a 19-year-old kid after 1 year of college at NC State.
And I just learned recently you served, by the way. I didn't realize that. So thank you for your service.
Yeah,
too.
I was Navy CB, and I tell people all the time that I thought I was big time. I was a child, man, and the people around me were. So your moms and dads are sending off their children to go fight these wars, and we need to appreciate the fact that there needs a lot of thank you, not just to the people who serve, but the family members around them, because they give a lot. They give more actually than even the service members.
It's a big week this week. Great opportunity to honor those, like you had mentioned. Here, Richard, this place is filling up. You guys got a lot of stuff filling up here in Mooresville. Yeah. So regardless of what happens tomorrow, it is an election. We hope everyone comes out and votes, right? We do want everyone. This is part of it, right? People fight and have died for the opportunity. Sure. Even so we could sit here on these microphones and have conversations.
And like you said, defend. I tell people all the time, I defended your right to be stupid. Right? And it's. I mean, it's okay. I mean, a lot of countries in the world you can't do that. And and today, you get to go online and say whatever you want, and and that's what being American, and all the freedoms we get. The right of free speech is a really big one. Tomorrow is a big right to get to go and vote. I like little plug. I'm the only veteran running for there, but at the same respect, I'm proud of. To represent this town the last 2 years, and I tell people all the time, if you could say 2 years ago that we would have done all the things we've done in 2 years, I would have been blown away. So I'm and I thank you guys, because you have done a great job of informing the public of what's going on. I can't thank you enough. There's not enough people in the press that are actively out there doing things. So I appreciate you guys.
Well, it's about community, right? We care about the community. We are involved with the community when we're talking about people's lives and all that. So what does community mean to you? How would you define community?
That's pretty cool, because when I first served way back in 2005 and I got on the town board when I was a young man with brown hair, I always tell everybody, Mooresville was so divided. We had the lake side and we have the downtown side, and the two never really met together. And now our downtown is the hottest thing going, right? And it's so fun, because, like I said, having people realize that in Mooresville there's almost anything you want you can find here. We've got great education, which really is what drives Mooresville. The school systems are fantastic. But then the ability that if you don't want to go work in Charlotte, you don't have to. We got great companies here. Yes. And I tell people all the time, the best way to keep I-77 being crowded, work in Mooresville, right? So it's really a really special place. And again, I mean, the fact that we had so many things that just got stuck, because people always forget, and I know you know this, I had no want to go back in. I'd been out of politics, and I was pretty happy. Wife and I were traveling. But I was frustrated like everybody else was, And if I could say, like, in 2022, 100% of the approvals in Mooresville were apartments. In 2025, 0% apartments.
Big swing.
That's a huge swing, right? And those are the things that you're able to do, because we needed to get back to some quality of life issues. Because, growth is fine if it comes in the right way, but it hurts when it comes in the wrong way.
You also got to be willing to step out and try things. I think I will commend more. You guys try things. At least you're willing to shoot shots and see, hey, if it doesn't work, so what? At least we tried something.
That's
and I will commend you. Your brother, Robbie Carney, he's running for commissioner in Cornelius. How's he feeling these days? I haven't seen too much of him in recent days.
I'll tell you, if you haven't seen his ads, whoever he's got doing them deserves theirs the best. He's using that bulldog. He's got a pet bulldog, and my God, there's no way you cannot lose with a bulldog in a picture. I mean, so he is
a
genius.
Couple of Kit Kat bars over the weekend too.
Oh, Carney on it? Yeah. So I go for to a little plug. I always laugh. I get full size candy bars out with vote Carney on them, and I go for the kids. But he's pretty smart. He uses the dog.
That's a better way to do it. All right, so 9 o'clock today it kicks off. We've got some festivities happening. The POW MIA flag processional and ceremony. That's a big event to kick this whole week off with.
Yeah, we want to make it very, very special, and especially because I think our generation doesn't remember what it was like when the Vietnam and you were really having the missing action. POWs.
You have no idea.
That's right, before you were born. Thanks for reminding us.
Exactly, yes.
That only hurt a little bit. Thank you. And but we were talking about the idea of having. Let's just not forget that lots of families didn't know where their loved ones. They never came back. Right? They're missing an action in Vietnam. So it is. There's I think it's about 8,200 that are still out there.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm not lying to you. 82,000.
82,000. Yeah,
Even
that are still out
Still
there.
just
Yeah.
more than one.
Yeah.
is a lot.
Right.
Yeah,
And
we're
for a
talking about
family,
World War
too.
II, Korea,
Yeah.
and Vietnam. So I mean, it's a really, there's still families who are still wish they had their loved ones back to have that closure.
Of this Veterans Week celebration, do you have a favorite event?
That's actually, it's hard not to love Richard. So I'll tell you right now, I don't know if you guys know Chris Montgomery, but he came up with the idea about putting the banners up. So there are going to be about 20 banners going down celebrating veterans. That it's going to have their face and stuff. That's going to be pretty cool to watch.
Cool.
That's down our main street. Obviously, the parade is going to be amazing. I got Commissioner Avon over here. He's got his Humvee out. He's going to do a Navy flag off of it for me. So it's going to be pretty fun. And like I said, and if you're going to be here on Veterans Day for the parade, stick around for that groundbreaking for the Veterans Village with the housing. It's going to be really special.
Mayor Cronin, we appreciate your
thanks,
time.
you
We
guys. I
appreciate your
appreciate you.
service
Thank
as
you.
well.
You're all the best.
And thank you, Mooresville, for the wonderful festivities and ways to celebrate and honor them. Good Morning LKN. Mamie is off somewhere eating breakfast or drinking coffee and talking with a bunch of veterans. We're hanging out here at Richard's Coffee Shop in downtown Mooresville. We're really excited. 9 o'clock, the POW MIA ceremony begins. Again, that opportunity to honor, remember, and celebrate this entire week. I'm joined by two gentlemen who get to hang out with all these people in Mooresville pretty consistently. Commissioners West and DeWeese here joining me this morning. How are you, gentlemen?
Good. Right.
All right, you guys, what do you think? Okay, you've done this now a couple of times. Mooresville decided not just a day anymore. Y'all decided, hey, we need a whole week or 10 days for all of this?
Absolutely. I like to think of ourselves as the most patriotic town in North Carolina, if not the country. So why put it into one day when you can make it last a whole week, honoring the veterans who served so that we have the freedoms that we have today?
Yeah, Commissioner West, you served. Share with us your service and when you joined the military and how that went for you.
So obviously, I'm a little older, so I was in the old Corps, what we call the old Marine Corps. So we didn't run in tennis shoes or shorts. It was what we call boots and utes. And I served 7 years in the Marine Corps. And that was 78 I started out in 78 through 85, and then I got out. And then I became a police officer. And I went to Aurora, Colorado, and I went to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I finished up my law enforcement career. And then one day I was getting shot at again, and I said, well, I'm going to go back to college.
Yeah.
So I went and got into technology, and then years later I moved here to Mooresville, and I loved it so much. And I love the esprit de corps and how much they supported veterans. And I'm like, this is home for me now. And I loved it so much, I ran for election. So
a glutton for punishment, I guess. That's right.
Punishment.
Well, Commissioner West, we appreciate your service. Commissioner Tommy DeWeese, you didn't serve in the military, but you've taken on a life of service of being an elected official as well. What's that been like for you?
It's been very interesting. I spent my whole life as a civil servant, started working with the government when I was 17. And I've worked with the scouting program and with the American Field Service, and just volunteered my whole life, and it just seemed like something good to do in retirement, and sometimes I have second thoughts about that.
You could nitpick, I guess, something in Mooresville that you don't like, but there's not much, I would imagine. How did y'all get to this point that there's this much excitement, there's this much? I mean, you guys bring through platinum recording artists, you guys bring through major events, you've got these opportunities to really celebrate, and the community participates in it. What's the secret?
I would say it's the staff that we have that works for our town and the vision they bring. So if you look at Christine Patterson, she manages all these events, and I'll be honest, she's a rock star. So we're very lucky to have her in that capacity. She puts on some amazing events, but we have amazing people that live here too. So it takes both, right? And so I look at the people that live here, they get engaged with us, they get engaged with the town, they love what we have to offer. And probably, maybe in 2009, 2008, if you were to come downtown, it was a ghost town. There's like nothing here. So I also think the Mooresville Downtown Commission has done a tremendous job in helping kind of create this hallmark Christmas card spirit downtown. And when Richards moved into this building, because it was initially started by Richard Warren, so he was a warrant officer in Vietnam, and the biggest thing for him is when he came home, it wasn't like World War I, II, or the Korean War. He just felt that veterans of the Vietnam War didn't really get a warm welcome home. So that's when he created this coffee shop. And if you take the time to look around here, there's so much memorabilia. And so when you get here, and I encourage everybody that's veterans to come to Richards and sign the Book of Honor. And it's just such a, it's such a heartwarming event when you sign that Book of Honor and they ring the bell and bring you into the brother and sisterhood of military. So that's what it is. It's a vibe that you don't find it anywhere else.
I think maybe mentioned over 20,000 people, a big number of people. Commissioner DeWeese, from your perspective of finding the ways to help with the needs of veterans, right? That's one group, but there's a lot of different needs in the community. How do you find balance on this? Because there seems to be a good one, because everyone seems pretty happy. They're really smiling right now.
Well, I think a lot of the balance is visiting and listening to the people and what it is that drives them and what makes them want to be in Mooresville. And if you look at the focus that we've had on building public parks, the skate park is a huge thing. And you just keep going through all the different things that Mooresville does. And as Commissioner West mentioned, our downtown has become a true focus for the town of Mooresville. And it was interesting to me, in a recent number that they gave us, is we're getting 3.5 million people a year visiting our downtown.
Wow, just visiting.
Just visiting.
Wow.
And they come down here, and it's just, to me, it's just an amazing thing. I think a lot of it is people hear about Mooresville, they see what we do, they see how we, well, as I've heard some of the other commissioners say, go home or go big or go home, right? We have what I consider some of the most star attractions in the area, the top-rated public golf course, one of the largest skate parks, and you just kind of go through all that. It's just a lot to do here in Mooresville, and I think it's a great town, and if we can come up with a good solution for traffic and making it affordable for our children in the future, because I hear a lot, people saying, how are my children going to afford to live here? So I've spent a lot of effort looking at affordable housing, and I think that I think that all those things kind of combined kind of paint a picture of a glowing and prosperous Mooresville.
Well, not even just affordable housing, but veteran housing as well. I hear that next week you guys have a groundbreaking on Veterans Day.
That's correct.
Share that information with us, would you?
Sure. So there, for a while now, we've had this idea of a Veterans Village, and the land that we had over across from the War Memorial had been targeted for that. And it was kind of, hit or miss. We were trying to move through that. And then suddenly the big breakthrough came where Lowe's Corporation held extra pennies for Homes for Vets. And then the actual organization, Homes for Vets, all of it kind of came together out at Lowe's one day with a couple of our elected officials. And this idea was born as, rather than building a single home here and there, why not build a whole village? And so we've worked with that and worked through that, and I think that it's coming to fruition now. And it's really kind of exciting. 14 homes over there across from the War Memorial.
There's a lot of needs, right, in general, too. There's a lot of wants.
Yep.
If we put that category of needs and wants, I'm sure you guys get an earful of both all the time. How do you balance all that? How do you find the time to balance all that?
Well, it takes a lot. I mean, it's really a 7x24 job. I mean, I'll have people call me, at 8:30 at night or 9 p.m. on a Saturday saying, somebody left a refrigerator out on the curb. I'm like, okay, well,
come pick it up, Commissioner
Come pick it up. I kid you not. But just a touch a little bit, because I do want to give credit where credit's due on this Patriot Village. It started actually about 7 years ago with an intern that we had here.
Oh, wow.
And just shout out Mr. Blue, Martin Blue. So he's the one. And he said, you know what? You've got Richard's Coffee Shop down here. You've got the War Memorial. There are a lot of veterans here. What if we did attainable housing for veterans? And we put it right across from the War Memorial. So it started then, and we never let go of that dream. We just continued to pound away at it to find a way to make things work and for it to come to fruition. And if you look at it, you've got Liberty Park where all these amazing concerts are held, right?
Yeah.
Right next to it is the Veterans Promenade. Then you've got the War Memorial, and then you're going to have Patriot Village, right? So we just kind of built on that theme, and it's like, what a better place, what is a better place than here to celebrate those that make sure we have the freedoms we do today. So that's really kind of where that got to. And if you look, our police department has a lot of veterans on it, so does our fire department. And believe it or not only are we almost fully staffed on our police department, but people here in Mooresville, they love our police officers and they love our firefighters. So we're just patriotic.
And people are moving here right now. They're wanting to be here, right? There's no doubt that there is significant demand to be in this area. Thinking through the future and what the growth is, right? You mentioned an intern 7 years ago had an idea, and then look where it's at. So the ideas you guys are coming up with, what's going through your mind as you think 10, 20, 30 years down the road for the town of Mooresville?
Well, we're looking at a lot of different items. One of them is Exit 38, because believe it or not, we really do need another exit. What we need is something to get all of that heavy industrial traffic out of our downtown and going headed to the highway, and that's where Exit 38 comes in. And then even in the current vision of the Mooresville Tomorrow plan, and trying to look and say, how do we make this growth work for everybody, not just the new people coming in, but the people that live here already, and looking where we can put in roads that are going to help ease some of that traffic. And so a lot of it is about looking down the road towards the future and saying, how do we begin to plan for that, as opposed to growth happening to us? How do we manage that growth so it benefits everybody?
Quality of life. What's that mean to you, Commissioner West?
So quality of life to me starts with feeling safe, right? So when you come downtown, when you visit our parks, and you leave and you go to your vehicle, you want to feel safe. You can't really have that quality of life unless you feel safe. So, we have an ISO 1 rated fire department, and there are only 30 in the entire state that have that rating.
Oh, wow.
And that's out of 1,513 fire departments.
Oh, wow.
We have single-digit crime rate. Most of it comes up from the Charlotte region. Sorry
for that, by the way. We just send it up here, and then between you guys in Mooresville and Sheriff Campbell, we say, hey, they'll get caught at some point. So,
well, we do. we generally tend to chase you till we get you, and that's not every department does that. Our officers are very, very safe when they do that. We still probably call off more than we pursue, but the idea is if you let crime in, you'll never get it out. So me personally, it's about making sure that people feel safe here, and if they feel safe, they can really enjoy everything Mooresville has to offer.
How about you, Commissioner Deweese?
Well, so I think in addition to feeling safe, because it all starts there, but it's also feeling welcome, and it's feeling like everything that you need is within easy reach. In spite of traffic being as bad as it is, you can still get to most places within town, in 10 or 15 minutes, which is very convenient. But it's looking at all of that and making sure that we have a town staff that meets the needs of our employees. Our customers, our citizens, and it's what those individuals do for us on a daily basis is remarkable, from sanitation to water delivery and everything else. It's a phenomenal thing, and all that pulled together is a quality of life.
Commissioner West, Commissioner Deweese, thank you so much. We're excited. At 9 o'clock, the POW MIA ceremony, that time to honor, to remember, and a whole 10 days of it. Thank you both for what you do, for the services you have, and that you are currently doing. We're grateful for both of you.
Well, we appreciate you coming down here and broadcasting at Richard's Coffee Shop. So you guys are awesome. Thank you very much.
I'll hang out here as long as they'll let me. They'll kick me out at some point. So.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the POW MIA ceremony, it's about to get started. We hope you make time to come out to Mooresville this week up until Veterans Day. A lot of great festivities. Be sure to check out online townofmooresvillenc.com. Thanks again to Richard's Coffee. Hang out this morning. We're back in studio tomorrow. Have a great day, Mike Kith.